Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Meaning move it, please. Thank you. No cloud. Okay, let me just get this going here. All right, so I don't know how many of you may have seen the report from the Colorado State Patrol for the Hazardous Materials. I hope you guys have all had a good week. TGIS. Thank goodness it's Sherry. Sherry's had a really long day already. Up and working since before the sun was out, before the moon was even finished. But anyways, and then I just got in from my other job like half an hour ago, and boom, I'm actually a little bit late coming on with you guys. So my apologies. I'm just gonna get myself situated on my device so that I can see the comments and stuff. Hey Jen, hello Eyeless, Jackie Kidneys. Haven't been to any of your streams live, been sick. Aw, I'm so sorry to hear that you've been sick. That's never fun at all. I hope you're feeling better. Hey, Billy. Hi, Gigi. Okay, so this information was the report that was given. It's only 4 pages long, but it was for the Frederick Police Department. And you can kind of read that for what it is, basically saying there was a telephone call requesting assistance from the hazardous materials section with an ongoing investigation, and that the officers had reason to believe that there were 2 people that were one in each tank, which we know is Bella and CeCe, right? Absolutely horrific to even have to get this kind of a letter, right? Unbelievable that this was what Christopher Watts wanted to do to his own family. So they go on to explain that there were 400, that it's a 400 barrel crude oil tank, and that there's 2 of them. They need to meet with everyone on the scene to talk about the plan to offload both the crude oil tanks and on-site safety. Okay. Conducted a grid search of the field just south of the tank batteries. We were advised to flag any items that did not belong on the ground in the area. We walked from west to east, then along the east fence to the north. Personnel did not see anything that appeared new or out of the ordinary to the environment. And it goes on to say that the Northern Plains trucking had tanker trucks on scene that were methodically pumping the crude oil out of the tank to the east first. The crude oil was being drained into a metal pool. A hose with the screen device on the end of it pumped the crude oil out of the metal pool into the tanker truck. And of course, the agents were watching the metal pool for any items that may be evidence in this case. Jeff Jones with Anadarko used 4 gas monitor to constantly monitor the air around the metal pool to stop work if the air became too toxic or flammable. Hi, Gigi. And the trooper arrived on scene, and that was to assist once the recovery process started. First crude tank was being offloaded. Handles on the containment pool. We anticipated the bodies to be recovered in crude oil. We're going to use the pools to put each body in once recovered. So Wiggins fire personnel arrived on scene, and we staged a pumper truck to the north where the recovery would take place. The first tank was emptied enough to start opening the rear manway on the tank. Take 64 bolts. Dang, crazy. Tank continued to pump out. The crude oil was seeping out of the bottom of the door. Have any of you guys not seen this report before? Sergeant Armstrong went to the top of the tank and he looked into the thiefed hatch. And he explained that he could see what looked like a body face down on the south side of the tank. Sergeant Armstrong took photos through the opening using the Weld County's coroner's office camera. Would have been nice to see those photos, eh, folks? Some of those, not all of them. We don't need to see Bella and Celeste, you know, murdered in the tanks, but it would have been nice to see some of this evidence come out in the disclosures that were released not once but twice, right? Versus having secondary duplicate information. Anyways, moving right along. Also photographed and measured the opening of approximately 8 inches in diameter utilizing a metal measuring tape. Proper personnel protective equipment PPE. Finish removing the rear door to the first tank. Squeegee to remove as much crude oil from the man-made entrance that we could. And put 2 hydrocarbon booms in the entrance. The man-made help hold back the crude sludge. It's just a lighter piece of pipe that was cut by fire personnel. Kneel on it when the entry was made. Brief safety meeting to discuss the process of recovering the body. Structural firefighting gear and readied SCBA. We had 2 4-gas monitors with PID. Even with the thief hatch open and manually off. The readings for lower explosive limit and volatile organic compounds were extremely elevated due to the confined space. It's crazy how dangerous it was that he chose to put them in these tanks, and you know how much caution and procedure needed to go into recovering them just based off of what we're reading here. I mean, they had to test the air, and there was lower explosive limits in volatile organic compounds. Like, he sure risked a lot of people's lives, unfortunately. Treasure hose line moved close to the main entrance. Sergeant Armstrong was posted at the hatch opening. And there. Wow. There was a body face down on the south side of the tank with the head facing west. It appeared to be a small female child. Trooper Reader grasped the upper portion of her right arm to turn her over. Trooper Reader then lifted her by both upper arms as I held her right leg. Trooper Reader held their left arm and left leg as we moved the body towards the manway. Trooper Bandy grasped the left wrist and shoulder areas. Sergeant Armstrong did the same on the right side as the victim was passed through the manway. Her left hand was degloved. Unbelievable. Absolutely heartbreaking. I just cannot get over why this was an answer for this guy to do this. As she's being passed through the manway, her left hand degloves. Just Brutal. Absolutely freaking brutal. Continue to support her body as she was placed into a containment pool. Sergeant Armstrong retrieved the removed skin that was from the left hand, gave it to one of the gloved Frederick police officers. Oh my god, my stomach's just turning. Seriously, I don't know. That's just absolutely mortifying, you know? God damn, how is this even an answer at all? Okay. The trooper and the sergeant then moved the pool up with a dirt broom and put it on the table. Walked around it in approximately 4 inches of crude sludge. Look for anything else in the tank that may be evidence we are not seeing in the sludge. I exited the tank at 1544 and walked to the field behind the tanks to be decontaminated. Jerry Weiner with the Weld County Coroner's Office was on the scene and took control of the recovered body. Fire personnel sprayed Trooper and I down, and I tried to remove as much crude oil as possible for the PPE. Went out there, 246, then walked back to our trucks and changed out of the PPE and back into lighter clothing to recover. Sergeant continued to monitor the victim using the floor gas monitor as the Weld County coroner and pathologist attempted to remove the crude oil utilizing several oil absorbent pads. First victim was then placed into a body bag and taken to the Weld County coroner's vehicle. It's blurry. I'll enlarge it for you. So we are now at Sergeant continued to monitor. Oh no, the second tank to the west had less crude oil in it and was pumped off quicker. Just move it over so everybody can see it. Okay. So the second tank to the west had less crude oil in it and was pumped off quicker than the first tank. Sergeant went to the top of the tank and looked in the thick hatch, and Sergeant told me that he could see another body that appeared to be face up on the south side of the tank. Sergeant took additional photographs using the Weld County coroner's camera. Sergeant Armstrong also photographed and measured the open to be approximately 8 inches in diameter, utilizing a metal measuring tape. Welding employees also removed most of the bolts from the manway door on the second tank while Trooper and I were doing the same PPE. Moving the manway door to the second tank. Wiens Fire Department again charged. A hose liner removed closer to the second tank. Trooper and Sergeant prepared the opening in the same manner as the first tank by placing a piece of plywood and 2 hydrocarbon booms by the opening. Sergeant monitored the entranceway with the floor gas monitor. The levels were measuring about the same as the first tank. So Trooper and I went on air 17:53 hours and made entry into the tank 17:54. I went in first with Trooper. Close behind, I walked over and could see a small child's body face up. I grabbed her right arm near the wrist area and moved her towards the manway. At this point, Trooper Reader was able to secure her left arm and left leg. Trooper Reader and I then passed the body through the manway. Trooper Vandy grasped the left wrist and shoulder area. Sergeant Armstrong did the right, same on the right side. As the victim was passed through the manway, Trooper Bandy and Sergeant continued to support her body as she was placed in a containment pool. During this extraction, there was some skin slippage where we had to touch the victim's body. There was also some skin on the plywood where her back made contact. Unbelievable. Just so maddening, so frustrating. You know, there are people in the world that cannot have kids. There are people in the world that want to adopt. There are people in the world that, you know, have lost. And it's unfortunate that Christopher Watts chose to do this to his only 2 little girls. I mean, his son didn't even get a chance to step foot on the face of the earth. So he clearly is just completely fucking heartless. I don't think there's any other term to use. The fact that the children's skin, and I don't tell me that he didn't know that that was going to happen. The guy worked with crude oil for how long? Like he, you know, he knew this industry. Like, what was the purpose of this? Like, it just makes me so mad. I'm just like, seriously? Was he thinking that this was going to disintegrate them and that he was maybe not even going to get caught at all? Like, God damn it, we could tell he was guilty the minute that the officer walked up and, you know, met him. Like, he just looked guilty from the get-go. Just so messed up. They did not locate any additional evidence in the tank. They exited the tank and walked over to the field south of the tanks. The body was turned over to Weld County Coroner Joey Weiner. Sergeant Armstrong continued to monitor the second victim using 4-gas monitor as the Weld County Coroner and the pathologist attempted to remove the crude oil utilizing several oil absorbent pads. Second victim was then placed into a body bag and taken to the Weld County Coroner's vehicle. Again, decontaminated both people that had to enter the tanks, firefighting foam. And they went off there at 17:56. Trooper and I then went back to our response trucks and removed our PPE, cleaned up our equipment, and began putting everything away. Just heartbreaking. How many people's lives were affected by all of this because it was their job? You know, when I don't think that anybody could have planned for this, right? But for crying out loud, it must have just been horrific to see that, you know, honestly, to have to touch and pick them up, and you're the reason that some of their skin is slipped off because you had to touch them to bring them out of the oil. Like, oh my, I can't even find the words without sounding like a blabbering insane person. But this is just so fucked up. Like, how is any of this? I honestly would love to just understand why. And I honestly, the more that we look at this, the more we talk about it, I don't know if we're ever going to fully understand. God damn it, this is just insane. I know, right, Dorothy? I feel the same way for the officers, the troopers, the sergeants, the fire department, everybody who had to be there to help out at this situation. I'm sure we're all affected. I mean, it's just disgusting that this was what they had to do for their job. They ended up changing back into their uniforms, their patrol uniforms. The on-scene hazmat team continued cleaning up and putting equipment away. All of the contaminated equipment was gathered and placed within a large tarp. Sorry. That he would make arrangements to clean up with a cleanup contractor to take care of the contaminated items. I wonder what kind of items. Cleared the scene at 1845. But I mean, they got there at what? Where's my cursor thing here? They got there. An insane type of job to have to do, all because of one man's stupidity. So I think they started somewhere around the 1400 hour. I mean, they were talking about it in the morning at 8:54 in the morning. They didn't finish until almost 1900. Additional notes. After speaking with CBI agent in charge, Lewis, he advised all of us to complete one report with all our inputs because we were acting as one unit. All times indicated in this report are approximate. There you have that report. So, you know, it would have been nice to see this one big report, don't you think? Right? But I'm sure, I know for a fact that there are people that were affected that went off of work and, you know, needed some counseling and some, you know, psychological assistance kind of thing, because this is absolutely devastating. To be looking through a hatch that should only have oil in it and have to view the fact that there's a floating little child's body in there, and then you have to take photographs of it, and then you have to remove this man trap thing, and you know, then you have to pull these little girls out. I mean, you know, I'm sure that many of these people have children themselves, and if they don't, they certainly have nieces and nephews and family, and we were all children at one point, so it's just absolutely shocking what they all had to deal with to see what was going on. Why did my thing close here? I need this open. So our last live, we listened to Nicole Kessinger in one of her interviews. This was one thing that was included in the pictures. This was what was included. And I truly, seriously, this has absolutely nothing to do with nothing. Let me just say that right now, okay? And this was included in the discovery documents. For what reason, I don't think I'm ever going to fully understand. I think it was just because they wanted to make it look like they were giving us a lot of information when they really were giving us nothing. So this is Nicole Kessinger's phone. And this is the list of artifacts and things that were on that particular phone. So it was an iPhone 6. Have I made this big enough even? Hang on one second. I'll really enlarge this for you guys. Yes, they were all offered counseling and they all took it. And who can blame them, right? So this is Nicole Kessinger's phone. And this is information that was on it. So there were 115 calls, 300 contacts, all of these trivial nothingnesses, right? I really don't understand why we got so much junk information or information twice. We seriously didn't get much that was new in the second discovery compared to what we got given in the first. And there were a lot of duplicate stuff. So here she had 13,084 web searches. Those are her cookies and history and all this stuff that really it's not giving us anything, but it's making it makes it look like they really did do a lot, right? But where is all this information? Why can't we see all of this? What are these chats about? What are the emails? What are these things? Instead of, we got this from the iPhone 6 and Nicole Kessinger. So welcome to all the new people. Hi, Tracy. Oh, 34,066 files, you guys. Like, really, it would have been nice to actually get some of the pertinent information. I mean, maybe some of it's just junk or some of it's just, other personal stuff. We didn't need to see that. But it sure would have been nice to see some decent information. Okay, we're going to go here to our Weld County files. So I did 24 and 26. That's another thing I noticed. It would have been nice to have all these case files instead of having, S21, S22, S23, 24, and then it jumps to 26 and then it goes to 29. Well, what about 25 and 27 and 28? It would have been nice to get all of those too. So, okay, this is the Weld County. These are the various files that we've been going through, and we're just going to download it onto my computer and see what's in it, open it together kind of thing. And now that we know Crystal Kenny got a deal, I wouldn't doubt they gave NK something. Yeah. Oh. And like that was just, like that woman helped clean up the act. Like seriously bugs me. All right, the old famous Christopher Watts' phone. Again, a lot of this stuff just really doesn't seem super important, and a lot of it is secondary. Like we've already seen it in the first discovery. Skint. That's funny. We're only going to be here for another 30 minutes or so, folks. Maybe a little bit less. I've got a lot of other work I need to get done. But I'm so excited to be able to offer so many more new things on my online store. I branched into makeup recently, and I have a few items that I want to add that are the high quality makeup, but for cheap. Cheapy, cheapy, cheap, which who doesn't love a deal? So I definitely have a lot of work that I need to get done, but we're going to go through these photos. And I think by the time we're done with that, then we'll be about ready to wrap it up. So. They showed 2 videos of Crystal showing where and what, even including where the blood splattered. Yes, I did see that because she had to basically point out exactly where she cleaned up, right? I wonder the same thing, Dorothy. I really wonder the same thing. Well, dang what, Billy? Yeah, no doubt, Jacqueline. No doubt. But how they sleep at night, knowing that they perhaps contributed to the planning of such a crime, or the helping cover it up and acting as though you are the person that was killed, victimized. Honestly, I don't know how they eat and sleep and live life trying to be happy. I don't know. Like I could never. I don't understand that. Sure wouldn't want to be best friends though with these people if this is what they're willing to do. Who knows if you're next? Oh, geez. Yes, Crystal was a nurse. Like, god damn, I don't understand how any of there's no rationale to that. Like, how are you not thinking and seeing what you're doing? How are you disassociating yourself from your own consciousness to complete the act that's happening, or whatever you're contributing to? I don't get that at all. This is just random talk about the home and the home selling and the moving and the relationship not working and all of that, right? Oh, excuse me. No, it literally makes absolutely no sense. And I honestly would hope that I would never be friends with somebody like this. Like, that nobody comes into my life, disguised as a wonderful person, yet they're a sheep or something, willing to follow the wolf and do whatever. No kidding. Like, that's all I could think about during that whole scenario, and hearing about the solicitation 3 times. I just honestly, all I think about was that they could have set up a sting. They could have falsely done photographs of Kelsey Barrett, murdered. She could still be alive if Crystal Kinney would have just done the right thing. Like, and if he's willing to do that to his fiance, the mother of his child, what more is he willing to do to somebody who he doesn't have any of that with? I think so many people would have. They could have set it up as a sting instead, and then Kelsey would still be alive, and her daughter would still have a mother, and the family wouldn't be broken. I will never understand the rationale behind, these killers and these people. It's mind-boggling. I think it is going to hit him really hard one day. I don't know if he has fully dealt with any of it yet. I think that the frenzy and the fame that he's gotten from it, and the love letters and the attention, hasn't worn off yet. But there will come a day when that's going to happen, and I strongly believe that that is when we may hear the truth. I don't even think that we've fully gotten it yet, to be honest. So much of what's been said from Chris Watts was all a lie from the get-go. And I think he's sort of still on some kind of this high or rush or whatever, and that it hasn't quite hit him yet. At the same time, as I can see him being super content with the fact that he's not in, a ton of debt. He has no mortgage. He has no job to worry about. He's just, able to live on the taxpayers' money now for the rest of his life. So I just don't think that he has let it all sink in really yet. I think he's still disassociated in some type of way. That's preventing him from really being able to see it for what it is. Why is this number here? Does anybody know why this says chat 229-066-974-860-145081? Anybody know what that is? Because this is just a conversation between Shanann and Chris. I don't know. You're watching two channels at once. Yvette's buffering, she's saying. I'm looking on it on two different devices, though, and I see it's still running. So, I don't know. It might just be on your end, Yvette. Yeah, all for a little bit of wild sex, right? Was it worth it? Was all of this even worth it to him? Like, I would really love to know what's going on in his brain, to be honest. You never saw some of this before? Yeah, I wasn't sure if folks had seen the Hazmat report, and I thought it was pertinent information. It looks as though we didn't get all of it, though, based off of that report stating that they were supposed to write out one report sort of collectively and, all basically sign it, I guess. So there was a lot of them there, right? So This is in the Weld County case files. So if you look here, this is my Weld County case file thing. There you go. Hello, Bronco. Very much, hey, Jacqueline? Just different type monsters, for real. You're welcome, Harley Chick. Welcome. I'm glad you could join us. I keep saying the more the merrier, so welcome, welcome. So yeah, we definitely went over this report that, you know, is very clearly stating exactly what the officers, troopers, fire department, and all the officials had to go through in the retrieval of Bella and Celeste from the two oil tanks at Anadarko's site, the petroleum oil site. And at the end of this, it states that they are to write out sort of one complete report. So you see at the additional notes here, it says, after speaking with the CBI agent in charge, he's advised all of us to complete one report with all our input because we were acting as one unit. All items indicated in this report are proximate, but we never did get to see any of that report from the additional notes. Let's see how long one more would take to download and how big it is. So now we're jumping from 26 to 29. Would have been nice to see if there was more information in 25 and 27 and 28. But whatever. Okay, but what the heck? So I guess we're gonna, let me just double check something here. Let's try for, I didn't realize we were already over that one. Sorry, my bad. Why does it seem to be open season on kids? That's a really, really good question, Jacqueline Knack. You know, like I said, I don't know if we're ever going to be able to really wrap our minds around any of this. So the Frank Ruzick interview is what's next here, folks, and we're probably going to stop this for this evening, but we will listen to this next week, Wednesday. I just wanted to see how long it was. It's an hour.
Well, first of all, I just want to say I'm very sorry for your loss. These are terrible circumstances I have to meet you, and I'm sorry to have to do this, but I really appreciate you taking some time out and speaking with us.
Yeah. All right, folks. So we definitely have the father's interview to look forward to. But for some of us have already heard that interview. If you're somebody who hasn't, be sure to join us next week, Wednesday at 6 p.m. for that. Music interview. You want to see the Christmas tree? You'll have to wait until Sunday, Billy, when we hang out face to face here at 1 p.m. Central Time. So if you haven't seen my little Christmas tree, my widow kiss Christmas tree, you can come and check it out. If you folks enjoyed the update today, sort of the discussion, the hangout time, I would love to see those thumbs up, the likes. Those are always awesome. Sunday is fun day, right? I sure would like some more answers, though. That's just unfortunate that we sort of have to settle at what we've gotten. Happy Thanksgiving to all my fellow North Americans. I hope you guys are having an amazing dinner with all kinds of goodies and fixins and treats. It's always nice to hang out, folks. I am looking for some more online love and support. If you haven't checked out my online store yet, it's called We Love Sassy Classy. And I would love to have some input. If there's something on the site that you'd like to see and it isn't there, be sure to send me a message and let me know. I can find all kinds of items from, for all areas of life and your home. So come and see and check it out and tell me what you think. Classy. That's the name of it. We Love Sassy Classy. And like I said, we'll be back Sunday to hang out. But Christmas is around the corner, and there are a lot of amazing deals to be had. So you don't have to wait for Black Friday or Cyber Monday. You can check out the stunning prices that I have, because I love deals and I want to share deals with all of my people. So if you want a good deal, go and check it out. I've got Urban Decay palettes for $20.99. I've got all kinds of goodies, y'all. So please check it out. Get your loved one something that would support me with a small portion. I literally only take like a couple dollars and that's it. And that's on the $20 items and up kind of thing. So I get a very, very, very small portion. I absolutely love hanging out with you guys. And if I didn't have a ton more work to do, I would honestly stay on and we could just do Frank Ruzic's interview right now. But I have to get this work done before I have to rest and get up tomorrow and do it all over again. So much love to all of you guys. Thank you for your support. And yeah, check out the online store. It's so cool. And it's so reasonably priced. So much love. And I hope to see you all back here Sunday, 1 p.m. Central Time for our face-to-face chat. And then we'll be back next week, Wednesday, for Frank Ruzic Sr.'s interview with the Frederick Police Department and officials involved in his daughter's murder and his granddaughter's murder. And it's been a pleasure. I seriously love hanging out with y'all. So if you're new, hit the subscribe button. We have a lot of interactive conversations. There's no age limit. There's no requirements. Everybody is welcome. And I love all of y'all. So I'll see you guys again soon for another true story with me, Sherry Wiens. I hope you guys have a safe and happy night, and bye for now.